Então, o MBR passa e o IME vem pro Twitter chorar.
We are sending NRG and C9. So that's the part that I think is horrendous. Like, we gotta fix that. No matter which way you go, like, whichever tiebreaker you pick.
A classificação do MBR para o Champions deu o que falar. Quem saiu em defesa do time brasileiro foi Rob Moore, CEO da Sentinels. Toda season tu treina, fala que nessa vai chegar no Radiante. Aí tu e teu Du decidem jogar e o histórico fica como? Parecendo aquele mar vermelho. Toda temporada é a mesma palhaçada e não muda nada. Vocês dois ainda são dois pinões. Mas relaxa, o Vavá Academy é a ferramenta que vai ajudar vocês a subir de elo de verdade. Lá você tem acesso a aulas completas, dicas específicas para cada agente, até para os que acabaram de lançar, e um coach radiante particular para corrigir cada erro que você comete. E campeonatos semanais com premiação para você colocar tudo isso em prática. E o melhor, 2 assinaturas saem pelo preço de uma. Faz a meinha com seu Du e bora lá parar de passar vergonha. Fala galera, tudo bem com vocês? Nesse final de semana, a Leviathan eliminou a Crew e assim classificou o MBR para o Champions. Porém, o VST Américas tem um regulamento diferente de qualquer região do mundo. Em qualquer outra região, o MBR já estaria eliminado do Champions. No último Plat Chat, os gringos até explicaram as diferenças nos desempates de cada região.
But my big gripe is, why the fuck have we got a different tiebreaker to every other region? What?
Oh yeah, could you explain that to me? Because my brain wasn't able to process that.
So the tiebreaker that we have in Americas is the tiebreaker on champs points is that it's your head-to-head throughout the entire year. So MRBR's got a better head-to-head against all the rest of these teams that are all going to be tied at 10 points.
Okay.
So they're gonna
Because
go.
of stage one.
Is it? Sorry, 9 points. They're all tied at 9 points because of they were good in kickoff. They were good in stage one. Like they've just beaten them more times, but also they didn't make it to playoffs this time, so they didn't play against the other teams. So they MRBR have not had an opportunity to lose to NRG or C9 right now because they never even made it to the spot where they could. The rest of the regions have. The further you go in stage 2 playoffs, that is the tiebreaker. So in any other region, we are sending NRG and C9. So that's the part that I think is horrendous. Like, we gotta fix that. No matter which way you go, like, whichever tiebreaker you pick, you just gotta make them the same for every region. You can't possibly have different rules for different regions. That's just insanity. But
for it? Like,
I think just probably oversight, if I had to guess. You know? It's probably just they forgot to update something somewhere or forgot to
not
communicate
oversee
across. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess that.
Ou seja, enquanto as outras regiões beneficiam as equipes que foram bem no segundo split, o VST Américas beneficia as equipes que foram bem ao longo do ano, já que os pontos para classificar são acumulados durante todo o ano, e não só no segundo split. E quem não gostou nem um pouco disso foi o IME, que é coach da Cloud9, que tem uma partida de vida ou morte contra a NRG, onde quem vencer estará classificado para o Champions. O Niang até comentou sobre o tweet no seu último vídeo.
Agora tá fora. E o IME foi pro Twitter chorar. Então quer dizer que em todas as outras regiões, nas regras das outras regiões, Cloud9 e NRG estariam no Champions agora? E aí, se você não viu o News passado, recomendo que você veja, porque a gente fala um pouco sobre isso. Nas outras regiões, basicamente, o seu desempenho no Stage 2 é levado em consideração na hora de um desempate por pontos. Então, MBR não foi pro playoff, todas as outras equipes ficariam na frente do MBR. Só que no Américas é a única região onde ele coloca o primeiro fator para você passar ou não o fator de desempenho ao longo do ano. Então, quantas vezes você enfrentou o time ao longo do ano para garantir ali no head-to-head se você passa ou não nos pontos. Então, o MBR passa e o IME vem pro Twitter chorar. O Valen coloca, não fica nervoso, só ganha, né? E ele fala, não tô nervoso, só tô estressado. Porque se eles ganharem na NRG, eles passaram, mas tá chorando no Twitter aqui, já imaginando que pode perder pra NRG. E aí aqui embaixo, inclusive, o Zelsis até comenta, sim, mas a gente não tá em outra região, então vê se cresce, né? A gente conhece o Zelsis, sabe que ele fala zoando, mas eu deixei até o coraçãozinho ali, né? No final das contas, ajudou a gente, então paciência.
Pois é, e quem respondeu esse tweet do IME foi o Robbie Moore, que é CEO da Sentinels. Ele escreveu o seguinte: o único que acertou foi o VCT Américas. A classificação não é válida para o Split 1, e as equipes não jogam contra todas as equipes no Split 2. A Cloud9 se classificou para os playoffs do Split 2, derrotando as equipes classificadas em sétimo, 10º e 12º lugares. A Cloud9 está 0/2 contra o MBR nesse ano. Vença a NRG e garanta sua vaga. No Américas, o primeiro critério de desempate para um confronto direto por pontos para o Champions é seu histórico de confrontos diretos durante todo o ano, contra o time com o qual você está empatado. Para o resto do mundo, é basicamente quem foi mais longe nos playoffs do segundo split. E o IME respondeu o Robbie falando: você não entendeu o que eu quis dizer, assim como todo mundo. A questão é as ligas serem iguais. Não me importa qual versão eles escolhem. E isso não fará diferença nos nossos resultados. Se vencermos, merecemos. Se perdermos, não. E o Robbie respondeu: minha primeira frase diz: todos os outros fizeram errado. Os pontos já estão enormemente atribuídos ao segundo split. O MBR ficou em terceiro no kickoff e levou 1 ponto. Chegou em terceiro no split 1 e levou 2 pontos. Mas o terceiro no segundo split vale 4 pontos. Quando em qualquer competição o confronto direto não é o primeiro tier break. Vou redigir uma petição para o Léo Faria para que as outras regiões façam o que é certo. Acho que você ficará feliz em assiná-la. Pois é, galera, o Robbie Moore realmente comprou a briga do MBR, mas e você? Depois de toda essa argumentação, qual você acha mais justo? Que o desempate seja definido levando em consideração o desempenho do ano todo ou apenas do segundo split? Já deixa aí nos comentários. E quem comentou sobre a classificação do MBR, se ela foi justa ou não e se o time brasileiro pode surpreender no Champions, foi o Platchat, saca só?
Is this MIBR team any fucking good though? Are we just sending?
Yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth as to whether or not I feel like I'm satisfied they're getting a shot at redemption, or should we send another team? But honestly, I've come to the conclusion that they deserve it, and I'm not confident that another team would necessarily be so much better on paper right now that they are a clear-cut better send for Americas. I think that MIBR had displayed enough at the end of that stage as well, after bouncing back, to make me believe that they should definitely have that slot. And that, you know, that period of time for Toronto and the couple weeks after returning were just a small period of time, and otherwise it's been a pretty solid year overall.
You know, I'm gonna say my only, I agree with pretty much like everything you said, especially because when we had Fraud on the desk, we had an opportunity to like catch up with him and stuff, and he said a few times the whole, I never sat at home and qualified for a tournament. That felt weird, which, you know, I could totally see how that's the case. But it would just feel weird to not have champs and not have Ospas there, so I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know, and then on the other side,
we should just rig who makes it the champs based on the most iconic players.
That's fine.
I agree.
That's what Chobra wants to do in Pacific.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello,
get texture
Pro wrestling. What do you? We plan everything out. You know what I mean? But I will say this though. After this weekend, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree that MIBR going is like representative of the top four, because I actually do, and we'll talk about them later, but I do think NRG and Cloud9 actually make a pretty solid case to be like, if you told me the top four we were sending was going to be Sentinels, G2, NRG, and Cloud9, I'd be like, oh damn, America's got a shot.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know,
I have come to the same conclusion as Wyatt, that I think it is good that the system rewards earlier on in the year, and I think that it's also made the qualification period more exciting, the way that we have these champs points. But my big gripe is, why the fuck have we got a different tiebreaker to every other region? But in terms of like actually performing, I was impressed with MIBR's game against NRG when they played in the groups. I thought that one, even though it was a 2-0 loss, I thought that MIBR played quite a good game here, and I thought that NRG were very good in this game. If MLBR are bringing this level, and remember that this was right before MLBR also beat Loud, so I think they're out of their slump personally, and I think they could be a bit rejuvenated. Like you were asking Fraud, like, does it feel like you're playing with house money now? I think there's a chance that they I'm not writing them off entirely for getting out of groups. Like, I think they're just a little bit worse than NRG C9. Not a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And they also have like, you know, like we know like what Aspas is capable of. You know what I mean? Like when Aspas hits his like peak, if he gets into the form, you know, then I think like, yeah, their highs can be higher than NRG C9 as it stands right now. But we'll see. I mean, but I'm looking at the game now, and you're right. I mean, Aspas just went crazy this game. Like the overall match was nuts. It was so close. I forgot this one.
Yeah, Aspas had his. I feel like I got everything in the last few games of MIBR that I would have wanted to see to feel pretty all right about them going to champs, which is that Aspas completely bounced back. He played a few excellent series in a row, was consistent in all the final 3. They had a guy step up to bring the team mental back in Cortesia. They desperately needed that. Check. And then, you know, even against Loud in the last week, they didn't win a single pistol round in that BO3, and they 2-0'd them. That's still a pretty impressive feat to be able to 2-0 Loud, who were closely contending with everyone, kind of wildcard team in the group, and they flat out 2-0 them without winning a pistol. Like I feel like there's enough there for me to chew on that I feel all right about them going. Yeah. I think the final missing thing for me is if they can operate like this, and if if Verno can find his footing individually while calling, I think that might be the final little piece of the puzzle for them to be a very solid team at Champions, given that this bounce back from their fall off keeps their mental in a good place and they don't slip back to where they were at Toronto.